Historians and cookbook authors have long held two theories about the creation of key lime pie. One story says the tangy dessert was created by the manufacturer of canned milk. Another possibility is that key lime pie is a riff on icebox lemon pie. Today, a 19th century cook known as Aunt Sally is celebrated as the inventor of key lime pie. I wrote about her after stumbling upon a legend at a Key West bed and breakfast called Amsterdam's Curry Mansion Inn. Aunt Sally's real name was Sarah Jane Lowe, and she worked as the cook in the home of a ship provisioner named William Curry. Among other things, Curry brought condensed milk to the Keys, and some say that Aunt Sally got the inspiration for her recipe from local fishermen. In the late 1800s, fishermen in southern Florida would put together meals on their skiffs by mixing stale Cuban bread with easy-to-store condensed milk and wild turtle or bird eggs. They squeezed juice from local key limes so that the acidity would both cook the eggs and add flavor. The story goes, Aunt Sally turned their creation into a tangy pie. By the 20th century, the pie's popularity spread beyond the Florida Keys, and today at Cook's Country, our version of the classic dessert features a tangy custard base and a pillowy meringue topping.
Hi, hope you're enjoying this video. If you're hungry for more, check out Cook's Country magazine. It's everything you love about Cook's Country, directly from the creators and contributors of our TV show. You can discover more of America's best recipes and the stories behind them. Each issue features classic heirloom and regional favorite recipes, along with unbiased product reviews and time-saving tips. Subscribe now and continue your culinary journey with Cook's Country. Way back in the 1960s, a Florida state representative named Bernie Pappy Jr. floated a fine to be imposed upon anyone that would sell a key lime pie that didn't use key limes. Now, there's no law on the books today, thankfully, but it does beg the question, do you have to use key limes to make a key lime pie? Well, let's ask Christy because she is here with all the answers. I hope.
I hope so too. But actually, the lime juice is not the only controversy with this pie.
No?
No, there's also debates that rage over what kind of pie crust to make.
Uh-oh.
And do you meringue or not meringue? So with no clear mandate, we decided that we would develop a recipe that had a soft but set filling that really kind of straddled the fine line between tart and sweet.
Okay.
So to start with the crust, we love a graham cracker crust.
Yes.
And I have 6 ounces of graham crackers that I've broken into 1-inch pieces. It's about 11 crackers. We're going to start there. We love the sweet flavor and also that kind of crystalline texture you get from graham crackers.
It's almost like short crust.
Yes.
Yes.
But we're going to up the buttery, salty ante by adding some pretzels. I've got 2 ounces of mini pretzel twists. It's about 35 pretzels, if you want to count them.
I do, yes.
And we're going to add that to the mix. And that extra bit of salt is really going to not only balance the sweetness, but it's going to make that lime flavor even more pronounced.
Excited about that.
I also have a 1/4 cup of packed light brown sugar.
Okay.
And a 1/4 teaspoon of salt.
Gotcha.
We're going to process this for about 30 seconds until it's very finely ground.
Okay.
That looks pretty good. See how it's all nicely broken up? We've got a fine texture. So now we'll add the butter. This is 8 tablespoons of melted unsalted butter. Now we're just gonna pulse this about 8 times just to make sure that it's all incorporated, everything looks nice and sandy. Now I have a 9-inch pie plate, and you really need to use a sturdy pie plate. This is not a place to use aluminum pie plates because this is gonna be substantial custard inside the crust.
Oh, right.
So it needs support and depth. Now, you know our favorite way to press a graham cracker crust into a pie plate is to use a dry measuring cup. I kind of scooch and try to get a nice even bottom. This is gonna be nice and thick all the way around.
Nice.
So once I get the bottom, I kind of start to go up the edge, and I usually use my finger to know where the top of the pie crust is.
A little finger blockade there.
Yes. Now I am going to put this on a ribbed baking sheet
Okay.
to put in the oven. And I have the oven set to 350 degrees with the rack in the middle position, and we'll just bake this until the crust is set and it's starting to get nice and fragrant, about 17 minutes. Bridget, as you can see, we have our lovely baked pie crust. It smells great, so that's all ready for us. I just have it on a wire rack.
Okay.
It can cool a little bit. It doesn't have to be hot when we add the custard to it, so it's just fine hanging out here.
Great.
Most key lime pie custards start with sweetened condensed milk and egg yolks.
Right.
And that's where we're gonna start.
Okay.
So I have 1.5 cups of sweetened condensed milk, and that will require opening 2 cans.
I'll pay that price.
Add it to your coffee.
That's right. Yes, exactly.
So we'll add those 4 large egg yolks, and they're obviously going to add some richness to the custard, but we're also going to add 6 tablespoons of heavy cream, just to add a little extra richness, make sure that it's nice and silky. So now we need to add some lime juice. You could use key limes. We have some key limes here. They definitely add a more floral, nuanced flavor, although we did find it was a little astringent in the custard, and you need 3 times as many key limes to get this same amount of liquid.
Right.
So we're using 6 Persian limes,
Okay.
3/4 of a cup of juice.
Just regular limes. Love it.
And then we are adding 1/8 of a teaspoon of salt. So just whisk this together until everything's incorporated. And that's it. Just making sure those egg yolks are broken and everything's nice and smooth.
Okay.
So I'm just going right into my pie crust. I left the pie on the baking sheet, and we'll use that to go into the oven too.
Fantastic.
Now we'll go back into our 350-degree oven, and we'll bake this until the outer edge of the filling is starting to set, but the center is still a little bit jiggly when we wiggle it. About 30 minutes.
Okay.
Ho, ho, ho. This is what we're looking for. See, you can see that it's starting to set around the edges.
Yeah.
But if you give it a little jiggle, it's still loose in the center. That just means that it's not going to overbake as it continues to carry over cook.
Okay. Yep, makes sense.
I will transfer the pie plate directly to a wire rack and let it cool to room temperature about an hour. And then I'll transfer it to the refrigerator. And we want to chill it for at least 4 hours. If you want to do it ahead of time, you can chill it for up to 24 hours, but you'd want to put some greased plastic over the top of it so you don't get a skin.
No pudding skin.
No pudding skin.
Okay.
Now, Bridget, a meringue topping isn't necessarily traditional, but it's going to give us some really nice contrasting texture. It makes a beautiful, stunning topping for this pie. And also it's going to use up some of the egg whites that we have left over from separating the eggs. So I'm going to put my 2 egg whites into my stand mixer, along with a 1/4 teaspoon of salt and then a 1/4 teaspoon of cream of tartar. So we will get this started. I'm going to whip this on medium-high speed until we just get soft peaks. It'll take 2 to 4 minutes.
Okay.
Okay, you can see how it's starting to hold the shape of the whisk.
Yeah, it leaves a little trail.
Right, that's when I like to check it. And you can see that we certainly don't have stiff peaks, but we're getting some soft peaks. There's still a little bit of movement in there. We're going to do some more mixing in a little bit.
Okay.
So we'll let that sit.
All right.
Now we're moving over the stovetop.
Fantastic.
I have 1/2 cup of granulated sugar added to my saucepan with a 1/4 cup of water.
Okay.
I'm going to turn my stove to medium-high, and I'm not going to stir this. The sugar is going to melt, the water is helping it, and we're just going to let that happen. It's going to come up to a boil, and then we just need to let it cook.
Yes.
So we're boiling now. We want to make sure that we get this to the right temperature so that our meringue will have the right texture.
Okay.
So we're going to cook this to 240 degrees, and that's going to ensure that we have a nice stiff meringue. 240.
All right.
Perfect. So I'm going to turn off my heat, and would you mind turning this back onto medium?
Medium. All right. You got it. How's that?
Perfect. So while the mixer is running, I'm going to very carefully pour this hot syrup into the mixer, but I want to try to pour it so that it's between the edge of the bowl and the whisk.
Right.
So very careful. And then once we get the sugar syrup in, we're going to add a tablespoon of vanilla extract.
Right.
And now we'll kick it back up to medium-high.
Okay.
And we'll let this go until we get shiny, stiff peaks, and that'll take about 2 minutes.
All right.
Oh boy. Look, okay. That's a stiff peak.
That's a stiff, shiny peak.
So we're just gonna let this hang out while I go get the pie out of the refrigerator.
Sounds great.
Where it's been chilling. Bridget, we're all set and ready to spread the meringue. Now, you could use whipped cream if you didn't want to do this, but it's not going to be this stable and it's not going to be this pretty. So I want to leave about an inch border. I'm just going to drop the meringue in the center. Then I'll spread it around, but I'll just build a nice little meringue tower. Now I'm using a spoon. You could use a spatula if you wanted to instead, but I just feel like I have a little more control with the spoon. It's gonna look so pretty and wispy if we have lots of pretty curly cues. I think that's good.
I think it looks heavenly.
Now the final step, I mean, it looks so pretty as it is, but we had all those limes that we juiced. So I zested 2 of the limes before I juiced them. So I have 2 teaspoons of zest here, and I'm just gonna sprinkle it over my pie.
Oh, no doubt that this is a lime pie in there.
Right.
Right.
And so we've got sweet tart lime underneath and a little bit of sweet tart lime on top. All right, so I'm getting a nice warm knife, so we'll cut through that cleanly. I hate to cut into this. Is that okay? Are you ready?
If you do not cut into that, I am coming for you. That's a substantial crust.
It is a substantial crust. Now I'm gonna dip in between my slices, clean it off, and I'm gonna make a big slice, a big wedge.
That's for me. Oh, yeah. Hello. Oh my goodness gracious.
It's a little purty.
Yes, it's gorgeous. All right, I'm going for that little piece there.
It's making my you know,
The happy glands.
the happy glands.
Oh my gosh. That is tart and sweet and balanced. The meringue.
It's not too sweet.
Well, you built that pie from the bottom up so that the meringue would not be too sweet. You've got the pretzels in the crust. It gives that substantial malty saltiness. And then the curd itself is beautifully tart.
There's a lot of crust there. Not too much, but it's enough to really not just be, you know, a shell for the pie, but an active participant in the flavors.
Christy, this is pie perfection.
Thanks, Bridget.
Well, to make this beautiful key lime pie, you want to use graham crackers and pretzels to make a substantial crust. Add heavy cream for a silky, smooth filling. And beat hot sugar syrup into egg whites for a tall, stable meringue. And the best part? You can use any fresh lime juice that you want, key lime or otherwise. So from Cook's Country, really good key lime pie. You can get this recipe and all the recipes from this season, along with product reviews and select episodes. Those are all on our website, cookscountry.com/TV. We hope you enjoyed this video and tune in for more. Hit those like and subscribe buttons so you never miss a single one. And if you're ready to take your cooking to the next level, try our digital all-access membership, where you can stream every season of Cook's Country anytime, anywhere, and always ad-free. Plus, you'll gain unlimited access to all of America's Test Kitchen fail-proof recipes, unbiased reviews, fresh episodes, exclusive offers, and more. Just scan the QR code or head over to cookscountry.com to sign up for a free trial. And while you're there, sign up for our free newsletter and download our app. And let's make something great together.